Hey Cameron, so I'm sitting here eating my I forgot what this is, Chipotle.
Chipotle
And
bowl.
Cameron and I were having a conversation just now about what brought the conversation. What initiated it, Cameron?
That's a good question. I'm not even sure what brought this up. But we did talk about sports and why sports could be in school. You've got war. People need to go to war, but they also have to want to go to war. So children, when they're 5 years old, they're told it's time for you to play football. Or maybe it's in second grade, maybe third grade when they play football. But you go to school and you play sports, and 50% of the kids are losers. If you play football, 50% lost. If you play tennis, golf, whatever, they're going to be losers. And I think that bidding yourself against 50% of other people could prepare you to think it's logical to go in to the military where, you know, you want to win. You have to be the winner. You don't want to be the loser. Sometimes you get a little bit dinged up, bashed up playing football or basketball or whatever. And, you know, if you believe in football, then it makes sense for you to join a bunch of people, and half the people are going to be a loser at the end of the hour or 2 hours. And then you repeat.
The conversation started, I think we saw Nick Cage on a movie, and I said, oh, what's this?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, oh, he's something about a lot of people don't like him and some people do like him. Nicolas Cage, right? And then,
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I had only heard heard good things about him. I didn't hear anything bad. So you were bringing that reality to me, that other half of the reality, which is there's a lot of people that say he's not a good actor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you said that's also the case with Keanu Reeves, right? Which I didn't know. But
Yeah.
I can imagine, because I find in everything there's people for and against. In everything, even free energy, even if there's energy in space, you have people like Richard Feynman and John Wheeler and others who say, and even Einstein and others who say, yeah, the vacuum of space is a sea of energy. And then others who say there's absolutely no usable energy there. There's no extra energy. There's nothing there. And you're getting this, like, I don't know if I'd use the word duality, but there's just two very different viewpoints that are very strong. And then what is the next thing you said from there?
And then I think I just talked about how, yeah, we're polarized. There's always an us and them. There's always just like a our side or them side, a black side, a white side, which goes back to learning that is an acceptable way to live through public school and learning the sports.
Yeah, and you were talking about football and
the sports teach you that it makes sense for you to go do something where you'd say you're going to go have fun, but you're a loser. At the end, you're a loser, or the other guy's a loser. Someone has to be a loser.
Or he'll be a loser. He might be a winner today, but he'll be a loser tomorrow.
Yeah, if you win today, it's just for today. You're going to be a loser tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always dream like, oh, I want to be the biggest winner, but like, that's because other people are losing. So for you to have your self-esteem means for someone else to lose.
Yeah.
I don't play football. That's the end of it, you know? I don't play team sports. I don't need to be winners and don't need to be winners and losers. Everyone can win there are plenty of things you can do where everyone wins. You can do electronics. You can do auto repair.
Yeah.
You can do painting. There's no loser in painting.
That's right.
You know? But you take the typical sports. You got soccer, football, tennis. You've got a bunch of losers out there.
And
Sorry, kid, you're a fucking loser.
And you were asking me, what sport is there no loser? You asked me that. You said, is there a sport where there's no loser? I said, I don't think there is. I don't know of any.
I wonder, like...
I mean, maybe there is one, but I don't know of it.
Even in the Special Olympics, it's just basketball. It's Team A versus Team B.
Yeah.
Team B, sorry, you guys are special and you're losers. That's not cool. That doesn't it's not helping anything the way I see it.
And it seemed like you were saying that kind of sets us up as we're growing up to be prepared for the mindset of war.
I think so.
Where one side wins and one side loses.
And also even the mindset of, oh, it's Democrat versus Republican. It's conservative versus liberal or whatever. Like, it's always got to be an us and them. And that's just such a unintelligent way to live. The way I see it.
That's so profound. Thanks, Cameron. Is there any more thoughts you had on that? I think that's really significant.
Yeah, I mean, just what if the NFL was like the electronics invention league,
Yeah.
where everyone was just making inventions, and
I
then
love it.
everyone crowded into the stands, spending $5,000 on a ticket to watch like all these guys and their inventions. Look,
I
I
love
made
it.
a rechargeable flashlight.
Oh, Cameron, and I
No
see,
losers.
and Cameron, I can see it already. The goal is not to create a free energy device. The goal is to make something. And
Yeah,
the
just make something.
people that get paid the most, like those millions of dollars the sports people make, people that get paid the most are the people that are maybe the most committed to what they're doing. It doesn't matter what they do. You can do anything you want with electronics. I'll say this though, so long as no harm comes from what you're doing. It's not to harm others.
Yeah.
You can contribute to humanity. You can help. You know, if your invention can help feed people or lead to something that can help people. Now, some people say, oh, everything gets weaponized, everything gets turned into a weapon. Well, that doesn't mean stop making good things. Make good things. Make things that contribute to humanity, and people are going to use things the way they use them. But here's the thing, and I'm not saying that's good or bad. Well, it is bad when things are for harm, but I like what you said about you people pay for these tickets to come see people making things. I love that.
This could be instead of a football game, it's a box with 100 parts in it. And this team, let's have the Raiders do it. I'm sure they'll do great. I'm sure that the Raiders and UCLA will each get this parts box, which has some batteries, wires, wood, a drill bit, some plastic, some tape, some goop, whatever. It could have anything in it. And the job of this competition is to see what you make out of these 100 parts. Who's not going to make something?
I like that.
If you're there, you're probably going to make something. But I'm just wondering, could the Raiders take a science kit and make something out of it? I wonder.
Yeah, I wonder too.
Or the Lakers, could they take a solar panel, a couple of wires, and a battery, and even assemble it so that it did something? Maybe. I bet they could. I bet there are plenty of guys in there who have half a brain. But basketball, do I want to watch a guy put a ball in a hole? Never in my life. In fact, I have only been paid to watch sports. I don't watch sports. I get paid to watch sports. Forget sports. Like, I would play sports. Yeah, it should be fun to play a sport. But even still, I don't want to lose. I don't care who's winning and losing.
What do you mean you get paid for it? Like, what is
I've taught PE. I've, anything where my eyes look at sports has been because I've been getting dollars.
Okay.
Like, why on earth would I want to watch someone put a ball in a hole? That seems like, what's the definition of, like, retarded? I mean, not to say anything is wrong with the retarded people, but, like, you want to watch someone put a ball in a hole?
Right.
Why?
Right.
Seriously.
Wow.
I don't.
And I like this idea that I'm thinking of when people are making their electronic experiments. There's the requirement is, so since the laws of physics are theories and principles, right? And there are some of the greatest minds in history have said that we live in a universe of inevitability. Given enough time, all things are inevitable.
Okay.
The exact quote is, that which is not forbidden is inevitable in the universe, right? So and someone can look that up and you'll find who said that. But coming into the project, it would be, what do you want to make, and what do you want it to do, what do you need it to do, and finding a way to do that and working toward that, right? I was talking with someone about, because I'm interested in the way the universe works. I'm interested in something that can keep spinning, right? That needs maintenance though. Mm-hmm. I call it powered by the cosmos, right? Powered by ambient energy, whatever you want to call it. But I like the idea that a magnet could be doing some work. How do we move things towards greater and greater efficiency? We're all interested in that. When you see someone design a new electric motor that's a little bit more efficient than what we have, it gets like billions of views. People just love efficiency. Sometimes someone will come up with something so efficient that it's so far beyond what we presently relate to, and the physics might be different, if I say it that way, that it can get rejected quickly and called a perpetual motion machine that's impossible and can't be done. But what if we remove the word impossibility and just say go? What do you want it to do? What do you need it to do? And then what can we learn in that process of wherever you end up going with that, right? Someone was telling me recently, Joseph, if you want to make magnets spin something, don't forget, if you can't get the magnets to make like a motor spin, right, by itself, where it's just spinning by itself, notice if you were able to lower the resistance of turning that motor, right? It doesn't have to move itself. What if you just lower the resistance of the magnets? I'm not saying it perfectly, but they were just letting me know it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It doesn't have to run itself. What if you just made it more efficient than it presently is? That's okay too. And there's no guarantee that'll happen, but what I can guarantee is I'll learn something if I do the experiment. Here's the thing, I too would rather do experiments with things and learn about electronics and things like that compared to watching people throw a ball in a hoop or myself throw a ball in a hoop. Even though I've done that before, if I had a choice, I'd rather learn something about electronics. Even though exercise is an important part of things, but we're talking about sports in the terms of where there's teams, right? Where there's this team and that team, and someone wins and someone loses.
Mm-hmm.
And to add to that, the injuries that occur are significant too, right, Cameron?
Oh,
Significant.
that's not even, we haven't even mentioned it. That's another whole highly important part of it, yeah.
Amazing. Any final thoughts, Cameron? It's big.
It's like hugs, not drugs, but it's science, not stupid sports. How about that? Science, not violent sports.
I like that. Silence, not violent sports. Is that what you said? Silence, not violent.
Science, yeah.
Science.
Yep.
Not violent sports.
Yeah.
Right, because sports, people are getting hurt.
There are no sports injuries without sports. This comes from sports experts. It's true. There are no sports injuries without sports. Remember that, people at home.
All right,
There are no electronics burns without building batteries, though. It's not that what we do is without danger. There is plenty of danger.
That's right.
But
everyone
it's not
wins.
to put a ball in a hole.
Right.
It's for something greater than that.
And everyone wins, like you said, Cameron.
Yeah, I think so.
I love the idea of people paying to come see something like that, and actually people getting paid to just create what they want to create. Mm-hmm. Not because they're proving something, but because they're learning something.
Mm-hmm. But it's just part of our system, and there are people who think capitalism is the best, it's the greatest, and they say, look, there's no better thing than capitalism. I get that argument, but if everything's competition, like, what if someone isn't the best? What if someone was born with a birth defect? What if someone is below average? Is capitalism fair at all? Is that fair that below average person is supposed to somehow get ahead of the smartest people? He's not going to. He's not going to be able to live an equal life to an average person or above average person. So is capitalism great? So many people are like, capitalism is the best. That's the only best system. But I just don't see that. I don't see it that way. I don't have an entire solution for it.
Yeah.
I don't think that some guy, because he's super sly, because he figures out how to like stick everyone else for $5 in the world, then he's a billionaire. Like, capitalism's great. He must be a billionaire because he's the smartest. Like, no. What if there were only $5 billion going around, and one guy figured out how to just overcharge everyone, took all the money? It would negate the whole system of money. This hoarding of money. If you've got people who are trillionaires, you might actually realize that the money system doesn't even work eventually if there are enough Elon Musk type of guys who are able to get such a share of the money. It doesn't make sense that there's a trillionaire class and the rest. It just doesn't make sense that way.
I understand what you're saying, Cameron. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. And it's something to think about, everyone. It's something to think about. We don't have a solution for everything, but we can talk about our thoughts and what we're thinking about. And that's what we're doing today. We're sharing our thoughts. And I thought, Cameron and I were having this conversation. And I said, Cameron, can I video this? Because I've been thinking about this a lot. And the way that Cameron just said it, it really put together something that I haven't been able to think very clearly about, but I have been trying to think about. And so it was like, I wanted to share that experience with everyone. Okay, everyone, until the next video, we'll see you next time.
Catch you later, people.